Honorable Chairman of this very important and meaningful summit, Mr. Shakti Sinhaji, Honorable Ram Madhavji, National General Secretary of the Bharatiya Janata Party and Director of India Foundation, Honorable Minister Matrika Prasad Yadavji, Sunil Kesiji, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and friends from media. I wish every success of this meaningful think tank summit. It is certainly an honor and privilege for me to address this august gathering of intellectuals and eminent personalities. I wish to express my deep gratitude to the Asian Institute of Diplomacy and International Affairs and Nehru Memorial Museum Library for giving me this meaningful opportunity. I would also like to commend both of the organizers for coming up with the brilliant idea of bringing research institutions together and hosting this think tank summit on such an important theme. I also want to convey my heartfelt thanks to Honorable Ram Madhavji for his comprehensive and very important and encouraging statement he just made. The past few months have witnessed major development in Nepal-India relations. India welcomed the outcome of federal, provincial and local level elections and expressed its desire to work closely with a new government in Nepal, which has received a strong mandate from the people. This development has had a positive bearing on Nepal-India relations. The leaders in both the countries seized the opportunity to advance bilateral relationship with renewed vigor and commitment. The recent visit of Prime Minister Oli to India and the subsequent return visit of Prime Minister Modi ji to Nepal have created a fresh momentum in an overall spectrum of bilateral relations between our two countries. I am happy to note that all the agreements and understanding reached between the two countries will now be implemented in a time-bound manner. Timely implementation will in turn bolster the credibility of our collaborative efforts and pave the way for yet larger collaborative efforts in mutually beneficial areas. The initiative has already generated a new wave of enthusiasm in Nepal. I have also been informed that all bilateral mechanisms are actively engaged in executing the directive given by the two prime ministers with a view to translating commitment into outcomes. I thank you, Ambassador Puri, for your strong role in facilitating this process. Against this backdrop, the theme you have chosen for deliberation today is both timely and relevant. Distinguished participant, in today's increasingly interconnected society, the opinions of individuals and institutions do matter and have the potential to influence the decision-making process. Think tank organizations across the globe are building networks through which they generate new and innovative ideas, analyze and different points of view. On many occasions, the idea they propose have been taken up through political process and translated into policy. The important role of experts and research institutions has long been recognized in all democratic societies. Chatham House, the London-based think tank on foreign policy and Brookings Institute in the United States, to name a few, are pioneers in terms of both their size and reach. In our own region, think tanks have led initiatives such as the Rachina Dialogue and Shangri-La Dialogue. These initiatives have been providing a platform for the exchange of ideas among international participants from the realms of politics, diplomacy, academia, and journalism. At the national level, we have also received help from the expertise of individuals, groups, and institutions on many occasions to look into important issues and suggest solutions. Most recently, the government of both Nepal and India entrusted the EPG with the responsibility of reviewing all aspects of Nepal-India bilateral relations and suggesting practical recommendations. The EPG, I believe, will be ready to submit its report to both the governments soon. For think tank organization, smaller in terms of size and resource, I see two ways to be visible and relevant. One is to continue objective deliberation on contemporary issues, and the other is to develop expertise on core issues. Our two countries and people are connected by geography as well as history, by socio-cultural values as well as tradition. Nepal-India relations are deep as well as extensive and surpass the formal diplomatic relations. These relations are age-old, sanctified by the wisdom of saints and sages, and constantly nurtured by deep-rooted people-to-people relations. The depth of our relationship cannot be fathomed merely through the formal relation between the two governments. The beauty of our relationship is that both formal and informal relations exist between the political, economic, social institutions of our two countries. This event today is itself an example of such a relation. Nepal and India both have given priority to relations with neighboring countries. This naturally puts neighborhood diplomacy at the center stage of our foreign policy orientation. The nature of the relationship between neighbors differs from that of other relationships, and such relationship cannot be conducted successfully without fully respecting each other's sensitivity and aspirations. Respect for and observance of such fundamental principles as sovereign equality, mutual benefit, and non-interference in each other's internal affairs is essential to building and enhancing trust and promoting goodwill, understanding, and cooperation. Our two countries have reposed faith in the Charter of United Nations, which is the foundation on these principles. Moreover, as both of our countries espouse South Asian values, including the philosophy of Vasudhaivam Kutumbakam, how could one think of not respecting and practicing the core human values of justice, equality, and respect? Why have I highlighted this? It is because our two countries have seen values in this principle as a solid framework for conducting interstate relationship. Nepal and India are two such neighbors for whom there are no alternatives to perpetual peace and harmony. Nothing can be more important than a peaceful coexistence, irrespective of their size and capacity. These both need each other's support and cooperation. These facts need to be understood in the context of our overall relationship and cooperation. A peaceful, stable, and prosperous Nepal, as justly mentioned by Honorable Ram Madhavji. This stable and prosperous Nepal is and will be in India's interest. This is not merely a theoretical proposition, but has practical consequences in our day-to-day life likewise. We need a peaceful neighborhood to develop and grow. Prosperity cannot be achieved in isolation. In today's interconnected and interdependent world, it can only be achieved and sustained as an outcome of shared commitment and shared efforts. I am of the view that each of us present here has a responsibility to promote understanding and cooperation between our two countries and between our two peoples. We should look to the future with an open and progressive mindset, learning from the past to ensure that 21st century Nepal-India relations are qualitatively different and are tailored to serve the interest of both the countries in a mutually beneficial way. It should be partnership that benefits and that befits our intimacy and shared destiny. Our friends from think tank and research institute could devote that time, energy and resource to suggest practical ways and means to bring Nepal-India relation to a newer heights of mutual satisfaction, consistent with the trend of our time and the aspiration of our two peoples. Dear participants, India has been a long-standing partner in the development effort of Nepal. Some new areas of cooperation have been added after the recent exchange of high-level visit to the already existing multifaceted bilateral relations between the two countries. Connectivity is key to development and even more so for a landlocked and least developed country like Nepal. We really are very much interested and concerned to transform Nepal from landlocked country to a land-linked country. I believe that the new railways and waterways networks, together with the more diversified airways, roadways and motorways, would be game changer for Nepal's economic development. When we talk about connectivity, we tend to think only in terms of physical connectivity involving mainly railways, roadways, transmission ways and waterways. But connectivity must be understood in a broader sense. It should be seen as a key enabler in promoting relations between countries through a variety of means. Connectivity of ideas, connectivity of markets, connectivity of people, connectivity of culture, connectivity of technology and so on. I urge the think tank organization represented here today to focus their research on this new area as well. The outstanding strides made in industrial development, the inspiring example unleashed in the field of innovation and invention, the pioneering progress in IT, and a remarkable pace of economic growth are all set to put India firmly at the global forefront. Our bilateral relationship should be expanded and consolidated in a way that enables Nepal to be benefited from India's unprecedented progress and prosperity. We need research-based inputs and informed suggestions toward this aim. Being a resource-rich country with a majority working-age population and surrounded by big market and big economies in the neighborhood, Nepal has the prerequisites for development. Nepal can no longer afford to be a poor country when our neighbors and the rest of the world are making incredible progress in every sphere of life. In the past, Nepal greatly suffered due to conflict and political instability. Now, the enabling environment for development has been achieved. We have a stable government, rule-based democratic institutions, and abundance of resources, both natural and human, and tremendous goodwill and support from the international community. We aspire to graduate from the LGC status at an early date and become a middle-income country by 2030, which is also the deadline for achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. What we need now are a long-term vision for development, able institutions, adequate resources, and concerted efforts from all quarters for economic growth and development. Distinguished participants, with the conclusion of peace process and successful holding of election to all three tiers of government, we now have a stability in place. Looking able, our utmost and topmost priority is economic transformation. The Prime Minister has coined the motto, Prosperous Nepal, Happy Nepali, to accelerate the pace of development. Nepal has tremendous potential for development in hydropower, tourism, agriculture, information technology, and infrastructure. In this area, cooperation and collaboration between the two governments is essential for achieving the desired results. Nepal welcomes more investment and tourist and transfer of technology from India. Nepal is seeking a favorable trading environment with India so that its ballooning trade deficit can be reduced to a manageable level. Progress in these areas can change the economic face of Nepal. Think tanks should explore innovative policy ideas and suggest concrete recommendations to help realize all these objectives. Sustaining recent political gains and meeting the aspiration of our people requires strong cooperation and collaboration among principal political stakeholders. In recognition of this fact, we took the big political step of unifying two major Communist parties into a single strong political force. We are committed to bringing about visible change in the lives of our people through our collaborative efforts. I call upon all segments of society represented here today to contribute to the best of your ability to realizing our common dream of dignity and economic prosperity for our people. In conclusion, with such a distinguished panel of speakers from research institutions, academia, business sector and media, I trust that Nepal-India Think Tank Summit 2018 will be a great success and that the outcome of summit will offer creative, pragmatic and actionable recommendation in further promoting all facets of Nepal-India relation in the days ahead. I thank you all. Thank you very much.